Yo, listen up. I need y'all to stop what y'all doing and go to thefora.com and get that new book by Lakey the Kid through Fora. And while you at it, cop some merch too.
Mixtapes and DVDs is my era.
Facts.
We did it better.
Yep.
Pelly leathers,
Facts.
ACG boots. We 80s babies and early 90s when it got grimy.
real.
I was out of this world, you could not find me unless you checked the lobby. Hustling was my hobby. We was lobby boys
Yep.
before Jim Jones. You could catch me in Harlem eating Jimbos.
Now, G.Dep is a rapper from Spanish Harlem, New York. Now, after Black Rob blossomed into a hip-hop star, he'll bring his alumni group member G.Dep to BadBoy Records. G.Dep would eventually sign to BadBoy Records in 1998 for $350,000 to a 5-album deal. In 1999, G.Dep would appear on Black Rob's debut album Life Story on songs like Down the Line Joint, BR, and Espacio. After heating up and creating a buzz, G.Dep would put out his single for Let's Get It, which featured P. Diddy and Black Rob, and it also introduced the world to the famous dance, the Harlem Shake. On November 20th, 2001, G.Dep will release his debut album for Child of the Ghetto, which also featured his hit single, Special Delivery. Now, this album will feature artists like Shyne, Kool G Rap, Rakim, Loon, and Puff Daddy, just to name a few. Now, with all the success of his singles, the album managed to peak at 106 on the Billboard 200 and number 23 on the top R&B and hip-hop album. But after being dropped from BadBoy Records, G.Dep along with Loon would drop an independent album called BadBoy in 2007, which featured artists like Genuine and Styles P. Now, even though G.Dep released an independent album with Loon in the 2000s, G.Dep would stay under the radar, not putting out much music. But in 2010, G.Dep will put out his sophomore album for Ghetto Legend, which didn't have much commercial success. Now, this album will feature artists like Keith Murray and Mr. Cheeks. Now, after the release of G.Dep Ghetto Legend album in September 2010, around December 15th or 16th, 2010, G.Dep would turn himself in and confess to a murder that he committed in 1993. Now, supposedly, G.Dep went to rob someone when he was about 19 years old. Now, the robbery was botched. The guy actually wrestled for the gun. G.Dep pulled away and ended up shooting him 3 times. Now, it's even said that G.Dep tried to confess to this murder 2 times prior, but was turned away because he was too high and incoherent.
I rode the bike over. I rode the bike in the neighborhood for like a couple of minutes. Then I just went towards Park Avenue, and I saw a guy standing there, smoking like he was smoking a cigarette or something like that. And I approached him. I got off the bike. And I approached him. He didn't seem like he saw me, so I just approached him. And then when I approached him, I asked him where the money was. He didn't say anything. It's like he just really just like responded, facially, but. Like he didn't say anything, so I asked him again, where's the money? And he put his hands up, and then he just I don't know, we caught eye contact. Then he like grabbed the gun, and it was kind of like a struggle, and I pulled the gun back from him, and then I fired 3 times.
Now, this is a situation that's been bothering him for years, and he even turned to PCP and alcohol abuse behind it. Now, his reason for turning himself in was basically to clear his conscience and hopefully get some redemption for what he done, because over the years he didn't know if the guy lived or if he died, and if he died he didn't know if he had a wife and kids, and it's just something that bothered him, and he basically just wanted peace. Now, this is a quick little write-up when you Google the whole situation about him turning himself in. G.Dep Coleman was sentenced to 15 years in prison in 2012 for a fatal robbery he committed in 1993, turning himself into authorities in an attempt to get things right between himself and God. The Harlem native admitted that he shot a man man 3 times during a botch mugging.
Now I can move forward with the fact that, what I did is never right. I attempted to make it right.
Now I want to say G.Dep is way better than me because I would have turned religious and gave my life to the Lord before I would have went and turned myself into them people about a murder that I gotten away with already. I'm just saying. And I also want to say I got to meet G.Dep about 3 times. Now the first time I actually met G.Dep was about 2004 in Club Speed. I was about 17 years old, going on 18, and I had a show in Club Speed or whatever, and I ran into G.Dep actually in the bathroom and all that. He was with some of our people. And, he was still like a star at the time because when he was peeing at the peeables, he had 2 homies on each side of him, like, watching, doing security work to make sure nobody attacked him while he was pissing and all that. Now, the second time I got to meet G.Dep was at my DJ crib. We went over there to do some work for my DJ, and my DJ actually was G.Dep DJ as well, and we didn't even pay G.Dep no attention. We didn't even realize it was G.Dep until he actually left. Like, he wasn't dressed well. He didn't look well, and we ain't pay him no mind. We just thought he was an average Joe. Now, the third time I met G.Dep, some of our people took us to a crib. He was in his Spanish Harlem so we could record him for our DVD. We had a DVD out in the DVD era. You get what I'm saying? And we went to record him. Now, when we was recording him, like the whole time he'd have his head down, and he'd just be staring. Now, I thought it was like the drugs that was getting to him, not knowing that this murder probably why he had his head down the whole time because it was bothering him. You get what I'm saying? And the drugs was just to ease the pain from his situation. So basically the last 2 times I seen G.Dep, he wasn't looking too well and he was just holding his head down like in the days. And when he did the interview for our DVD, they even said that Puffy owed him some money, which was crazy. Now, a lot of people don't know that G.Dep was Black Rob artist, and Puffy actually stole G.Dep from Black Rob because, Black Rob ain't had the right paperwork. And when Black Rob brung G.Dep to BadBoy, Diddy just took him from Black Rob.
Being I didn't have the paperwork, he just snatched them from me. I just feel like, if me and Dep was together, we could have did bigger things.
So, yeah, it's definitely a pattern with all the BadBoy artists. They definitely be going out bad. So Diddy definitely played dirty. But G.Dep is eligible for parole December 2025. Hopefully he could come home, get back to his family, get in his kid's life, and do what he got to do. But anyway, this is just a story I wanted to share. I found it interesting. But anyway, if you're a fan of these old hip-hop stories, tell a friend to tell a friend about my page. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. More content coming, and I'm out. 1. Yo, listen up. I need y'all to stop what y'all doing and go to thefora.com and get that new book by Lakey the Kid through Fora. And while you at it, cop some merch too.